The next one we're going to create is a little bit more work. So if you want to save yourself a little bit of typing, you can actually highlight what you have, Control C to copy, or go to edit and copy. And then we do a new one. And we go to File and Save As. Change this to a web page. And this is going to be called Top Navigation. We can go ahead and paste. So Control and the letter V, or you can go up to Edit and choose Paste. That'll save you a little typing time because the top is the exact same. The title is a little bit different, so let's fix that. The title is Beatles. And then we get into the body. We have a header. In the header, we do have an H1 tag. And in that, we're going to put Here Comes the Sun. We have the same navigation section as the other, so we don't have to change that. And then we do have a main section below the nav section. In main, we have a section that is split into different articles. Article and section is kind of weird because you can have articles within a section. Okay, so you can have one section with multiple articles, or you can have one article with multiple sections. So they're kind of used interchangeably. So I've got a section and I'm doing my first article. So I'm putting in a horizontal rule, which is just a skinny line. And then I'm putting in my heading 2 tag. And this is lyrics with the pre-tag. So I'm going to be using the pre-tag here, so you guys can see how that tag works. So pre stands for pre-formatted. So however you key this in, it will take the spacing, the enter marks, however you key it is how it will display. That is different than a normal web page, because in a normal web page, it ignores extra spaces, but it does not ignore extra spaces in a pre-formatted page. All right. So that completes that first little section. So we have the one section, we've got the complete article in it. And if you guys want to look at this while you're working on it, you can save it. And you can pop it open in the web browser. And let me pull this over. So that's how it looks so far. And moving right along here, I'm going to do my next little article section. And this is not going to use a pre-tag, which means any extra spaces that I put in here, it's going to ignore. So I'm still going to use that little horizontal rule as a separator. And I'm going to give it a heading 2 here, lyrics in a single paragraph. And we'll do another little horizontal rule, getting pretty fancy. Let's see. Let me close this. And where was I? All right, so I've got my paragraph. And remember, it's going to ignore extra spaces. So if you have extra blank lines or anything like that, it's just for readability because it's not going to display that way. In fact, you can see I made a little mistake up there. Press enter. And I'm going to copy this. Just because I am a lazy typist. Or you might think I'm smart typist. All right. So this kind of looks like the other one, right? The difference is we're using a paragraph tag instead of a pre-tag. So let me save this and show you what that looks like. Keeping in mind, the pre-tag is going to keep your spacing and the paragraph tag does not. Okay, so that is the difference. So you may think, well, how can I get those line breaks in there? Well, we're going to do this again. And this time we're going to get real smart. We're going to copy this whole article section. We're going to paste it in there. And what we're going to do in here is first we're going to change our little heading. Lyrics in a single paragraph. It should be lyrics with paragraphs and line breaks. Okay, so we have our paragraph, we're missing our line breaks. So at the end of each line, I'm going to put in BR, which is for line break. And all I've done is highlight this, Control C to copy. And then I'm clicking at the end and pressing Control and the letter V to paste. So let's save this one and take a look. So we got our pre-formatted, we have our paragraph, and then we have our paragraph with the line breaks. And I can see we missed one thing here. Because you'll notice it's all one paragraph. We actually want two. So see where this gap is? We are going to put a closing P in here. That closes off the first paragraph. And then we're going to do an opening P. And what it likes to do, because it thinks it's being helpful, is it automatically adds a closing, which we're just going to delete because we have the closing down here. Okay, and for a paragraph, what happens is it does give you a nice little line between them. So let's save this. Okay, and right now we have no line between, but when we reload, we're going to get that nice line between because this is a paragraph and this is a separate paragraph now. Believe it or not, we're getting close to the end. So below our closing section, above our closing main, we're going to add an aside. Now, typically an aside is designed, or how you'd like it to display, is actually on the side. This is not going to display that way because you need to use CSS to actually position it. And we haven't learned that yet. So we're just using the semantic tag for now. And in a paragraph, we want to emphasize the text, which is going to display it italics. And then we're going to put, here comes the sun. just this little snippet of text. And you'll notice how mine went way over to the right. Remember, you can press enter here. It's not going to really matter where you press enter, what spaces you enter, because it ignores all of the extra enter marks. And see, I really had a hard time with my typing here. All right. Okay, so for those of you that make a ton of typos, you can see I do them too. So proofreading is important. All right, so that is the aside section. And then below main, at the bottom of our page, we're going to put the footer section. And so the footer is designed to be at the bottom of the page, or you could actually put footers at the bottom of articles or sections. But the key here is that it's at the bottom. We're going to do a little paragraph. And this first little section of text, we're going to display strongly, which will boldface. And after strong, I'm going to do a little line break. And visually, I'm going to press enter, even though it won't make a difference. I like things to look neat on my screen. And then in a little smaller text here, I'm going to key in copyright, and I'm going to give it the HTML for the copyright symbol, which is ampersand copy semicolon. And then we'll put in the year. Okay, so at this point, it is done. So let me save it. We'll pop out here and reload. Oh, found another typo. That happens quite often when I view it on the browser. Save my changes. And at this point, we are done with task 3.